Hey everybody, Happy New Year. It's Audrey. Thanks for stopping by my channel today. Over the past couple of years, I have done a 12 days of holiday scrapping series on my channel, which I did not get to this year because I've been very busy with a new job. However, I still have a lot of holiday photos to scrap. So over the next couple weeks, I will hopefully be posting 2 or 3 videos a week showcasing some holiday pages. So I am working today with this cut file from the Cut Shop. So this cut file was designed by Ashley Horton, and I just loved the trees. I saw so many examples of pages using this cut file that I wanted to get it and use it myself. It's just a set of 3 trees with little stars on top. So I have opened the cut file, and I drew 2 boxes in that are the size of my photos. I have 2 3x4 photos. And I separated the trees out here so that I can move them individually. And I'm kind of just designing how I want my page to lay out. So my plan is to have these trees just overlapping each other. I'm going to cut them from different shades of green pattern paper. And I'm gauging the size. And I like to do this and draw boxes for my photos so I can see what size my cut file should be instead of trying to guess. So here are my trees that I have cut out, and most of these pattern papers are from, actually 2 are from the December Hip Kit Club kit, and 1 is from the December Documented kit from Hip Kit Club, and then that dark green piece of paper is from my stash. I think that's a piece of Chamel's Christmas line. I was looking for a piece of pattern paper for the background there, and I didn't see any that really caught my eye for the background. And then I remembered I had this stash of papers from Close to My Heart, and I have a friend who is a consultant, and this, I think it's called maybe Oh Dear or something, Magical Dear or something, I don't know. I'm totally forgetting the name, but it kind of looks like a birch tree pattern, and I absolutely love that for the background for this page. So I kind of just arranged things there. Do I like it? Yes. And I'm going to do some mixed media on the background. So I really love the pattern of this paper. However, it is definitely not designed for mixed media. It's very thin, much thinner than I think other brands of pattern paper, and it is not thick like a cardstock. So I'm going through with some white gesso, and you can already see it's kind of warping a little bit with the gesso. And I was planning on using some mists and watery colors here, so it does warp a little bit when I add on my colors, even with the gesso on the background. So I have added a little bit of water to some shimmers just to kind of get them activated, and I am going through with one of my favorite blue mists. It's a Shimmers, and it's Snow Wayman. And all of these colors came from past Hip Kit Club kits. And they all go so well together. So this blue is that I'm using, I think, is a Creamies. It's very similar to the mist I used. So then I went in and added a little bit of this darker green. I cannot remember the name of it, but it's great for, I think this came in the December kit, actually, the December color kit from Hip Kit Club. It goes great with the greens from the kit. So I added that in with a little bit of the blue, and then for contrast, I was kind of nervous about adding red in, especially the red and green. I didn't want them to overlap and become too muddy, but when the red kind of overlapped with the blue, it kind of created a pretty purple color, so I liked that color in there. So I'm just going to go through my brush, add some spots of red in here, and you can definitely see how warped, when the light hits it right, how warped the paper is getting. So what I decided to do, because the paper was so warped, is I let it dry completely. And I went through it with a heat gun, but then I just let it sit for a while too. And I actually ironed it. And I wish I could show you this video, but all I did was take a big piece of parchment paper, and which was wide enough for my background paper, and I made like a little folder out of parchment paper. I put the pattern paper inside, and I just ironed it with my hot iron on a very hot surface, or a very flat surface rather, and it made the paper a lot flatter. It's not perfect, but it's definitely a lot better than it was. So that actually worked, and I was surprised. My camera is shaking a little bit here because I got this new cord for my phone, and I realized that I kept brushing against it with my shoulder. So midway through this video I do fix it, and I realize that I keep hitting it and it's probably shaking my camera a little bit, so I apologize for that shakiness. Okay, so this cut file actually came with stars in it, but I did not cut the stars out because I didn't think I wanted them. And then of course I opened this die cut pack and see the cute little stars, and they're kind of like this mustard yellow, and I thought, oh, those are cute. So I'm going to put those back on and add the stars in. And having the trees there is a great little background for some of these little woodland animals, so I'll add a couple of them into. It's funny because I put this fox and this bird down, and I end up changing it to a deer and a different bird. And then some of these, they're not puffy. I guess they are kind of puffy letters and phrases. These are awesome. Are exclusive from Hip Kit Club. The December Hip Kit Club exclusives were absolutely amazing. They were so incredible. If you are into holiday Christmas kits and stuff, you have to go check out the kit because the exclusives are just fantastic. So worth it. And the colors are great too. So because the word Christmas was kind of that greenish mustardy color, kind of like a citron, I thought I needed to add a little bit more of that color to the page. So I changed out the bird and added the greenish bird instead. And I liked the wood grain circle element there, but then felt like I needed to bring some more wood grain in. So that's why I chose the deer instead of the fox. The fox was cute, but it was becoming very much monochromatic, and I thought I needed some color to kind of mix it up a little bit. So I'm just going through all these goodies. I just opened this kit, and right before actually my break for school, but obviously with Christmas and stuff, we had so much going on, I hadn't really had time to scrap, and so when I opened it, I was just like, oh my gosh, it was in my glory, and I just wanted to scrap the whole rest of my break, which I could have if I didn't have children and a family and a home. So it's funny how, those responsibilities sneak up on you sometimes. So to kind of balance out the wood grain, I decided to put the word O with the wood grain letters, which are also exclusive. And I wanted to add something to the Christmas trees, but I didn't want them to decorate them like Christmas trees. I wanted to leave them kind of the natural green. So I just tied a piece of twine to the one tree in the top, just to draw your eye up a little bit. And I do have kind of like a red and white striped label sticker for journaling in the bottom left. So that kind of balances out the red and white striped twine. So I took everything off, and I'm going to start to glue these trees down because I realized that I decided I wanted to stitch over them. So I'm going to glue them down just enough so that they stay in place while I stitch over them. And I undid the twine so that I didn't stitch over the bow, but I did stitch over the twine behind the tree, so that helped keep the twine in place, which I thought was great for just holding it there so it didn't slide around. So you see my stitching there down each tree, and I think I have fixed the cord finally. I hope I'm not bumping into it anymore. I'm going to tie that twine back up. And you can see I cut off some of the branches there from that tree on the left, and that's because I knew my photo was going to cover them up. So I am going to kind of stick them out from behind the photos on the side just to make the tree look a little bit more full. And to give it a little dimension, I'm adding some foam dots or foam squares to the back of these stars. The bird. So I decided I considered backing my photos with matting them with patterned paper or popping them up with foam, but I kind of liked having the branches overlap the photos, so I could not put foam behind them to pop them up, which I really like the way the branches overlap the photos. I often don't like things overlapping the photos because I want the photos to stand out, but in this case I feel like you can still see their faces very well, and it kind of adds to the theme. I also really like how these two photos, when they're next to each other, it looks like there's a Christmas tree between the two kids. Like it's almost like a continuous photo with just a line out of the middle of it. So that was kind of a happy accident when I put them together to make it look like a tree in the middle. These puffy stickers are great. However, and I have to learn my lesson. When I was photographing this layout at the end, the letters started to fall off, and that's because when I don't think it sticks well on the gesso background. So I would recommend you always use glue with these letters, even if they are sticky, especially on a mixed media background, because they just do not stick as well. But when I put them on the photo, though, the word tree, that sticks to the photo just fine. But on a mixed media background, you definitely need to add some more adhesive to the back. So there's those extra branches I'm adding in just for a little bit of pop off the sides. And I'm going to add my label sticker. And lastly, I just thought I wanted a little bit more sparkle. I did cover up a lot of that mixed media in the background, but to bring out a little bit more blue, I'm going through with some of the sequins that came with the December Documented kit, and I'm just pulling out the blue ones and adding them to the background for a little sparkle. I added my journaling and I believe a label sticker for the date. I don't know if I show that on video. And that about does it. That's right, I could not find a label sticker, so I had to make my own. I stamped one instead. And there is the final page. I love these cut files. I can't wait to use them again. Maybe just pick one and like do multiples of one, but so cute. And this kit from Hip Kit Club is just fantastic. So there it is, one of hopefully many more to come this month of some holiday pages. So thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you very soon, and stay scrappy, friends.